Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the Columbus School of Chinese here in Columbus, Ohio. My name is Donald Newman, and this is yet another episode of Ask a Chinese Teacher. Today, we're going to focus on another word or syllable pairing that is easily confused with one another. Last time, we did the difference between O and wo. Today, we'll be focusing on the difference between shui and xue. Really, it's the difference between UI and this UE sound. But before we get into that, if you're interested in learning more about us and what we do here at the Columbus School of Chinese, including what classes might be available for you to take online or in person here, check us out at columbusSchoolofChinese.com and please like us on Facebook as well. So this is another common one. This is one that a lot of American learners, if they're not careful, will pronounce these either interchangeably or very close to one another so that it's almost like both of them sound like the exact same thing. They're actually not, and the sooner you focus on the differences, the sooner you start practicing how to pronounce them differently, the better. Okay, so there's actually quite a few differences on how either of these are pronounced. The first one, we're going to start with the initial. So here we have an X, here we have an SH. If you remember from previous episodes of the show, an SH is what we call a retroflex consonant. It's part of a whole category of initials. Here's our initials chart. We see SH is on this line with ZH, CH, SH, and R. These are the retroflex, where your tongue is kind of curled back, tip of your tongue is on your hard palate and the top of your mouth. Zhi, chi, shi, zhi. The X in xue is on a different line of this chart, and therefore a different category of initial altogether. These are the alveolo-palatal initials. They're produced with the tip of your tongue behind your bottom teeth, and the blade of your tongue is what's making some connection with your hard palate. Okay? So, ji, qi, xi. So, although they might both sound like SH sounds to our ear as native English speakers, they're actually distinct consonants in Chinese. So that's the first difference. The second difference is how the letter U is treated after each of these initials. So after an SH, sh, a U is treated like an U, right? So we have this shu, okay, and then we have to talk about this vowel slide in a bit, right? So that's how this is going to start. With a U after an X, we're not actually producing this U initial. After an X, the only possible U sound that we can have is the one with the two dots on top. So it's more like U, shu, shu. So xi, yu, shu, shu. If you're not sure why that's happening or how to produce that vowel, because we don't have it in English, make sure you check out previous episodes where I talk about the difference between U and Ü. So with xue here, we want to use that Ü to dot U. That's a big difference. So the initial is a big difference. This Ü is a big difference. From there, we can blend this Ü to an sound. This is just straightforward, one simple final blended to another simple final. Put them together, we have a relatively straightforward complex final. Okay, xue, 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 xue. Now back to our shui here. A U after an SH is always U. But what about UI? If you've studied a little Mandarin so far, you know that a UI sounds like wei. It doesn't really sound like a straightforward blend from U to E, we. What's going on here? Let's check our master chart of complex finals. See if we can find a UI somewhere on this chart. As it turns out, if you see it yet, it says that this UI is actually a blend of U and EI. We actually don't see this UI combination other than in parentheses here. So you might want to think of this vowel slide, of this complex final, as written in an abbreviated form. It actually is a slide from 3 different, more simpler finals. Okay. U, E, I, Oi, Oi. So even though we only have a UI, think of it as a blend through all 3 of these. That will help you hit the right sound when we come back to our shui. So if you'd like, imagine that there is a E in between this U and this I here. Shui, 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 shui. Okay. Now back to back. Shui, xue, shui, xue. Hear the difference? Again, these 2 are very commonly interchanged for new learners of Mandarin. Make sure you stay on top of pronouncing them in distinct and correct ways.